This is Jerry Hall, an expert network security specialist, and I am a marketing flim-flam man. This is MEEKS LLC and M.E.A.N Media's first podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me on the podcast, Adam. We're talking about the cybersecurity awareness that we need to be bringing to the table here today. We were just having a little chat before we got started about things and how you can buy all the security you want in the world, but at the end of the day, your employees can hand the keys to the castle away if they're not sure what to look for.
Easier than they think they can.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. You start to think about if somebody gets the password to your email address and gets in there, how many things do you have tied to one email account? You know, they take away your bank account information, they get into your PayPal, make rogue purchases through your business. They can take control of those services you're using with your business to put up a web page.
But you just called the police, right?
The police, they don't get paid to handle cybercrime. That's a federal thing that has to happen, and it's very rarely, if you get hacked, it's really tough to track down who got you.
Especially when you didn't get hacked, you just gave away your password.
Yeah, there's no real way to tell who got that and ran away with it and took your stuff. There's
to
a lot
Dubai.
To Dubai, maybe, likely not, but
Nothing wrong with Dubai. I like Dubai. Yeah. It's cool.
Dubai's not one of the countries that's built on cybercrime well, but there are a few.
Built on cybercrime?
Absolutely, yeah.
What does that mean?
Like ransomware, just for people not familiar with the term, that's where you'll get a virus on a system, on your business, or a hospital, or some other critical infrastructure. They'll lock all your data out, encrypt it with their encryption. You won't be able to get your data back, and they will offer a ransom. You will pay the ransom, and they will unlock your data. This is a really successful attack because there's not much you can do if you don't have data backups. That's your only source of all of your business's information.
Like they lock me out of my Adobe portal and then I don't have my client's footage?
Yeah, or like say you are a brick and mortar store and you have air conditioning that is controlled over your network. Because why? Because that's the way things are done these days. And then they have taken control of the server that maintains that control of your air conditioner, and then now they've set the thermostat to 85 degrees and have locked you out of the system. So now they're going to keep your whole business completely uncomfortable for any customers and employees, so much so that you can't work there.
That's like a Paw Patrol episode.
Exactly. And they're like, you know what, $1,000 and we'll fix that for you. And it works, and then you try to go fix it and make sure that they're not in, but they've laid eggs for them to get back in so deep that, 3 or 4 months later, they just pop right back in, get another $500 off of you.
And it's funny because that doesn't happen, but statistically, it does happen.
Every day it happens. That's it's happening all the time. It happens here in Humboldt County. Definitely happens in Oklahoma. I don't want to drop any business titles out there, but they're in the news if you're looking for it.
What would they Google?
Ransomware attacks in Oklahoma.
Oh.
Yeah. Because really the only way out of that, like I said, if you don't have a backup solution, a way to get around losing what you have on site, then you have to give into that ransom to get your stuff back, and then that funds entire cities in, say, Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
Russia. Ukraine did it, not Russia. I don't know.
Russia.
So what makes a business stand out? Because I'm sure it takes effort to do an attack like this. It's not like they can just do it to everybody. So what makes somebody the tempting honeypot?
Well, a lot of things are ran by just selecting an audience, right? You've got some threat actors that are out there looking for things like hospitals and these critical infrastructure. They're going for big money. And then you've got a different threat actor that's out there looking for soft targets that maybe they're not trying to get a huge ransom off of them, but if they can nail 500 small businesses that are not savvy and don't have a good security posture,
trained employees.
Yeah, or just some basic services running on their network. What's good is a lot of places are cloud now, So a lot of that data is on things like Amazon,
Yeah,
AWS.
like just 5 years ago, I didn't have a security token for my websites because it cost an extra $80 a month and no one needed security because we weren't taking payments. Now, even not taking payments, it's going to be secure through Amazon.
That's another thing too. A lot of businesses, to get insurance for your data, you have to be PCI compliant, which PCI compliance says that you have to have certain protections on your network. Otherwise, you'll be paying a lot of money for that insurance because you are not compliant.
For some people that don't know what a PCI is, let's give them, because maybe they need it and they don't know it.
Well, it's one of those 3-letter terms that the IT industry loves to throw out there. I don't know exactly what they stand for off the top of my head, but PCI compliance is essentially financial compliance, to where if you have if you handle transactions and people's money, debit cards, things like that, you have to be PCI compliant to handle that information.
The Google God AI says that it is payment card industry.
Yeah,
so if you're taking a debit card, which is every business out there, unless you're taking cash, then like what?
So there's things like Square out there that
Square,
are PCI
Stripe,
compliant.
Facebook now has payments.
Yeah, and these are all compliant services.
PCI compliant.
But for people who own their own finances through QuickBooks and work with people's money through QuickBooks, and you've got that PC laying around your office and it's got all your money on it, you're not PCI compliant. You can't get insurance for that data. You can imagine the impact if somebody were to lose that database with their year's financials, and the hassle that would be to try to get everything squared back away in time for tax season. Because, the government's out there too.
Yeah, they just want to look at your data.
Yeah, they just want to see what you've been up to. But now you can't show them because
we got fished.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you get ransomed because you got fished, and maybe you got fished because someone clicked on some malware, and then now you got this giant data breach.
Yeah, so a phishing attack could look like an email coming to your inbox from what looks like Amazon saying, hey, your account's been logged into from another device. We need you to log in and confirm your password, right?
And it looks like it. The logo's there.
Yeah, everything's there.
I love the Walmart promos. I won that new TV. I should have clicked it, but I was too lazy.
And they'll just have you go to a login page that looks exactly like Amazon's login page.
Yeah, of course you have to log in to
and
approve
then you log
free
into
thing.
that, and some of them will go a step further and redirect that page to the real website. So you don't even know that you were somewhere you weren't supposed to be or didn't intend to be. But since you've entered your credentials into that, they have it now, and they're going to use that and leverage it to get into your information. And, if you can get into somebody's email, like I said earlier, you can reset anything that's tied to that email because you've got access to the inbox. So
that brings a story to my mind of how this kind of stuff leaks into work. Like someone's shopping for toilet paper at home on Amazon, and then all of a sudden that's affecting their, boss, and their, whole company's infrastructure is in danger because they, got some virus. I was at my computer, and the person in the cubicle next to me was like needing something, so I popped over, and I saw when they went to Google something that my icon was in the top right corner of the desktop. And that was my bad because I didn't properly sign out of everything when I gave that computer up and moved on. But this person was using my Google profile on everything, and it was wild.
Yeah, and Google profiles now are tied to all that analytic-driven marketing and your digital footprint. So basically, if you shop for a certain brand of toothpaste and you log into your Facebook, or you start seeing ads on other websites that are
maybe it's because you gave an employee tablet or a device that was a hand-me-down that helped the business out, and then all of a sudden,
boom,
their viruses or your viruses.
Now you know they're kinks. It's weird.
Whoa. Fish we're talking about.
Getting a little rogue there, but if you do stay signed in on a computer like that and they've got you signed in, that's a big problem. And this isn't not just for businesses too. You can imagine in those scenarios, somebody ends up with your personal email and it's not tied to your business, but now all your personal life's hell because, all your personal stuff's been compromised. They're not just looking for a business to attack. Cybercrime is not looking for any one particular thing. We'll just take whatever they can get.
The low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, sometimes that's the easiest to run away with. So for me, at the end of the day, I've been working in cybersecurity specifically for about 1.5 years now. Prior to that, working in a general service provider, from security to deploying servers and workstations and things like that, for another 5. And it's just you start to hear a lot about these businesses and these stories, and sometimes it's heartbreaking because you get to work with small businesses in these towns, and they have one employee that had an issue, and that issue cost the company upwards of 6 digits.
I think that there's even like the movie The Office Space with the fractional penny stealing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of businesses don't know that they're leaking data to their customers. Let's just say you have a restaurant and, you're taking you have all of these credit cards coming through your business and you got a box full of receipts somewhere, and that can get out, and that becomes phishing data for customers and for your employees with their social security numbers and all these things, especially employees. But all that leaks out and becomes pieces, and you never get in trouble or implicated, and there's never a problem. And phishing, a lot of the time, you don't know there's a problem ever.
Right. And you're just the breadcrumb that got him there. And that's that reminds me a lot of, I think, a big shift in business and in people's personal mindfulness for this. We think back to the Mark Zuckerberg trials for the Cambridge Analytica incident. Are you familiar with that?
Is that the thing with the psychographic data?
So I'm not sure what the psychographic data is, but
the Trump election.
I'm going to tell you what happened
in Europe.
Wrong incident. This is different. This is not the psychographical Trump data. This is Facebook.
This is the Hillary
being
emails.
negligent and being the breadcrumb to billions of people's lives.
Yeah, all the data that got used for Trump.
Well, and that probably is. So
they hired a flim-flam man.
Right, no, that is a separate incident. That is true. I know what you're talking about. But okay, so Cambridge Analytica.
What did they do with this data? Well,
Facebook did that with the data.
Yeah, Facebook didn't do it. Facebook doesn't care.
This is a separate incident.
Yeah, I'm talking about something else.
Yeah, we can get to that too in a second. But
we don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, that's what you can do with all of that analytical AI data that you gather on people.
Psychographics, Google it.
So prior to that, though, I don't know if you remember many, many moons ago, there were lots and lots of Facebook games that were like, hey, send this to 10 friends. And these games were going all over Facebook. Yep. And so what you were building were these networks of people, and they said, hey, tie it to your profile.
Yeah, answer these questions about yourself and your friends' personal lives.
And just like a Farmville kind of thing, where you log in with your Facebook profile.
Oh, yeah.
You have permission to
to all of my stuff.
So, and that's exactly it. They gave permission to everything out with a 1-sentence disclaimer. Mm-hmm. And Facebook had enabled businesses to do this all over the place with their own little disclaimer of what they were allowed to do with that data. A company called Cambridge Analytica harvested tons of just profiles, like billions of profiles.
And sorted it and analyzed it.
Yeah, because you would join it, right? You'd say, yeah, you have access to my full profile. Well, what does that give you access to? All of your friends' profiles, right? So now they were able, just because your friend went and played Farmville back in 2010, right?
He gave them permission.
They gave
to get my data.
Permission to look at their whole friends list and go dig through all of their.
It's like when a cop joins a drug dealer as a friend on Facebook. He's just trying to get in there.
Yeah, he's trying to be a little plant.
Surely cops don't do that kind of invasive thing.
That would be dishonest and against the nature of justice.
Yeah, well put.
But yeah, so they farmed all that data and they sold it. And then Mark Zuckerberg went under trial because all these people had no idea that they were exposing the lives of everybody that they had on their Facebook profile. That was also, and still is, a time where you want to have a very far-reaching social media account, right? You want to have as many friends as possible. Well, things have changed now. You're not just handing the keys out to those people, but people were that well connected on these platforms then, So millions of people from one person playing a game. And yeah, they pumped the brakes on that. And what you were speaking to earlier is that kind of algorithmic marketing, targeting engines that they have that, they were kind of manipulating posts based on content to...
Yeah, I'm so glad this came all the way full circle to marketing. Because let me tell you, what I heard was Trump hired a guy like me to do his digital media campaign.
Flim man.
And gave him a huge flammy budget that I would just dream of. And he hired a whole team of people to go in and use this data from Cambridge Analytica. And they all did it in Europe, which was weird because they were marketing to America. But they had, Facebook reps and shit helping them. Stuff. So they used the data to know that they're going to send you the picture of Trump with the green background because they know that green affects you a certain way because you told that app that green's your favorite color and why. So it actually is true that green makes you like Trump more as a background color. They can Photoshop his tie. They always say choose your tie perfectly and it's really important. They chose the tie for Trump for each and every individual that got to see his post because they went out and just with an army, they would target leaders and communities all across. And I think I'm allowed to say this because I heard this on a different podcast. But that's what you can do with remarketing. That's what you can do with psychographic data. And so this is all really more, they're not so worried about ransoming you if we're going to talk about the big picture here. But it's a war on psychographic data and interest, which is why TikTok's such a big issue right now too.
Yeah, it's a little off tangent to the security landscape and what you can do for that, but it is all very relevant to just
clicking one button.
Your digital
can change
footprint
everything
in general. Right?
Yeah, one button. You gave away your photo inventory that has pictures of your kids and stuff.
Right, and it's just what you do online does follow you in every way. If I were to go visit some family and they have a favorite brand that they shop for on Amazon frequently, and my phone is sharing its geolocation and they know that I am around them, I may start picking up ads for that brand based on that. So I say this as an example of, like you said, this is the way this data is being used for marketing, but you can...
Which can be really cool.
Yeah, you can take that same implication, though, and apply it to just any kind of thing that you can come up with. Like, okay, well, if they know what I like and where I'm at, how can that be leveraged in, like you said, politics, marketing...
And it's not supposed to be. In fact, Facebook now has since made a barrier between the months of campaign season so that marketers, unless they're approved and working with the Facebook admin, cannot make an advertising post about religion, science, or politics. It's like a super strange trio of what? Can't talk about those three things? And you just can't advertise about those three things because they don't want any more accusations. But they're really not addressing the elephant in the room that they can put green ties on the president and do it that way.
I think it's something that got away from them because I feel like at the time of the Cambridge Analytica incident, right, that was a really turning point for Mark Zuckerberg when he thought to himself, wow, this is really powerful stuff that I've created and that I have. We've got the majority of the world on this platform and I'm literally harvesting information from everybody's everyday lives.
And letting other people do it.
And I need to really be careful with who I choose to be able to wield this. And so,
which is why I really do have mad respect for Meta. It's got the eye on the future, and so that's why the stock market's not doing so good right now. But hopefully they make it through.
We'll see. It's tough out there for everybody. World's in a weird spot.
So, speaking of worlds in a weird spot, and we're thinking about bunkering down and playing Fallout for a year and living in a Fallout shelter.
I just got done with that. COVID's we're getting back out.
Riding scooters.
Taking shots.
Keeping your email safe. Let's just say you have emails, client numbers, phone numbers, credit card numbers, your numbers, everybody's. How do you back up your data? What do you suggest for somebody to do right now to take that 10 gigabytes worth of junk they have and say, I want to put this in a vault somewhere that's safe and it's on the cloud and it's good to go?
Yeah, there's cloud backups out there for free that you can go find. Just using like a Google Cloud solution, having one for your business that is not your personal.
I don't know, it sounds like buying a movie on Purple. Like, I don't know if it's going to be around in 10 years.
Let's look at Google and where they're at today and where they've been then.
I pay like
if
$40 a month for Google
10
storage, terabytes on terabytes.
Oh yeah, the data's not going anywhere.
So that's safe, but it's expensive.
Yeah, well, and they offer some free stuff as well. Like you get storage with them for free.
A little bit.
And for a lot of businesses, maybe a little bit's enough.
200 megabytes.
If you've got a bigger need than that, then yeah, it's going to probably cost you a little bit of money. But these are monthly services that are pretty inexpensive, and they keep your data safe. They've got securities through that policy as well. It's not just like a free thing. They're like, oh, your stuff's gone. If you lose your data to a cloud solution that's selling you that, they're liable for that loss, not you.
One time I was mailing $15,000 in cash across the country because I didn't feel confident driving it. And so I went to the post office and I said, I'd like to get the insurance on this. And she said, okay, well, it's $50 or whatever, $5 insurance. She's like, if you lose the package, you'll get your money back. But she didn't know what I had. Like, in my mind for a moment, I was like, oh, thank God, I'll get my $15,000. Oh, no, I'll get my $5 back.
Right. Well, buy insurance, people.
Buy insurance via protecting yourselves from getting in a crash.
Ensure your data's safe.
Don't mail $15,000. And that package was supposed to be overnighted, and it got lost in Texas for a night. So that was a long night.
So the point is, buy cloud backup solutions.
Yeah, people have heart attacks for smaller things.
Yeah.